What's up, everybody? My name is Key Air, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going to be talking about the child support hustle. And this part of the child support hustle that we're going to be talking about, the girls' trips and the underground parties. It's going to be real interesting, just like all my videos are very interesting. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about the girls' trips and the underground parties. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does this have to do with the child support hustle? I'm about to tell you. But first, would you please like, please share, and please subscribe, okay? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Trying to do whatever I can to try to get this channel to grow. Let's get into it. Now, what does the child support hustle have to do with girls' trips and underground parties? It has everything to do with girls' trips and underground parties. For one, if you find out any woman that has gotten back from a girl trip, a lot of times relatives, they will go and talk to other relatives about what happened at the girls' trips. So a lot of times when they come back, they tell other family members what happened. Sometimes they tell their girlfriends about what happened. And many times you'll find out that if a woman went on these girl trips, some of the common places that a lot of these girl trips go to, places like Las Vegas, places like Jamaica, places like Mexico, Cancun, spring break. Many of the things you find out is absolutely, some people would say, deplorable about what happens on these girls' trips. A lot of times what happens on these girl trips is that a lot of these women are screwing around with a whole lot of men, even though they may have a boyfriend or have a husband back at home. And so they figure, since all the women are supposed to be on the girl code, that nobody's gonna tell on them. Well, that doesn't particularly work out that way all the time. And I'll give you an example of that. There was a particular woman that had an, oh, by the way, let me say this right now, fair use, fair use, fair use. Anyway, there was this particular woman. This woman actually had gotten married. So she had just been married. I think the woman had only been married for a few months to her husband. Well, this particular woman was going on a girls' trip with her girlfriend. They went on a girls' trip to Las Vegas. Now, while they were down in Las Vegas, the wife was screwing around with all different types of men. Now, mind you, I just said the woman had just got married. She only been married for a few months. Went down to Las Vegas. When she went down there, she screwed around with ain't no telling how many different people. Now, this particular woman, her girlfriend, didn't particularly believe in the girls' code, which is a good thing, because you need to find out what's going on these girls' trips and underground parties and things like that along those particular lines. Well, anyway, what ended up happening was, when the lady got back from the girls' trip with her girlfriend, the girlfriend went to her girlfriend's brand new husband. And she told the husband, do you know what your wife was doing? Your new wife was doing when she was down in Las Vegas? And so the husband was like, no, what was she doing down in Las Vegas? So the girlfriend said, your wife was down in Las Vegas prostituting. You're like, what? She said, yes. Your wife, your new wife, was down in Las Vegas prostituting. Now, this woman had just got married. She's only been married for like 3 or 4 months. Now, my thing is kind of like, okay, why would a person go on a girls' trip when she just got married several months ago? So what does this have to do with the child support hustle? It has everything to do with the child support hustle, because while she was down in Las Vegas screwing around with I don't know how many different men, she could have gotten pregnant by any of those men. So let me ask you a question. If she had gotten pregnant by any of those men, whose baby would that baby be? You guessed that right. It's going to be the new husband's baby. Even though the woman was down in Las Vegas screwing around with I don't know how many different men. And actually what the girlfriend said was the wife was down there prostituting. So This is the reason. This is part of the child support hustle. This is how men get stuck with kids that are not theirs, that they're raising. And oh, by the way, in case you don't really remember what I stated before, it takes over $300,000 to raise a child from 0 years old to 18 years old. And that's only from 0 to 18. Over $300,000. Now, most men probably would not mind paying that money if the child is theirs. But nobody wants to pay that money if it's a child that's not theirs. That's why I encourage every man, I don't care how long you've been married, you better go get a DNA test on each and every one of your children. Matter of fact, there was a guy that had been taking care of his kids. Some of his oldest kids were almost 30 years old. Somehow or another, there was a DNA test done on the oldest child in the family. And the father found out that the child was not his. So he got really down about it, got depressed about it. Then the father told the child that he found out through DNA tests that his child was not his. And they got real angry at the mother. So anyway, the guy wanted to find out, was the second kid his or not? Just wanted to know. And he was about to forgive his wife, and then come to find out that after he took a DNA test for the second child, found out that that child was not his either. Now, the first child he had been taking care of for like over 30 years. So now the first child and the second child found out that they were not their father's children. And the guy not only found out that both of his children were not his children, he comes and finds out that both of his children had different fathers. Both of his children had different fathers, which is a great shame. I mean, they got really, really ticked off at the mother, very, very angry with the mother. And so the father finally confronted the mother about finding out that his two oldest children were not his. What do you think that the wife said to the husband? The wife said to the husband, so what? They're yours. They're your kids. So what? So her attitude was like, hey, so what? They're yours. You were raising them all these years. They're yours. This was her overall attitude about it, which is really messed up because she wasn't going to take no responsibility for nothing. Anyway, this is one of the main reasons why you want to make sure that if your wife or your girlfriend go on a girls trip and she happens to get pregnant or so, and saying, yeah, we're pregnant, this is one of the main reasons why you want to make sure that you go and get a DNA test of the children, because a lot of women come back from these girls trips and talk to their family members and tell the family members all the stuff that goes on, how many different men that these different women on a girls trip then slept with, screwed around with while they were on the girls trip. So this is big reason why you need to check to make sure that all your children are your children, and get a DNA test on everyone. I don't care how long you've been married, get a DNA test. Now let's talk about the underground parties. Underground parties are very, very well known all over the United States, but particularly in certain major cities. Usually you can find numerous underground parties. I don't know, but myself, because I've never been to one myself, but there's a lot of people that go to these underground parties, and a lot of these underground parties are parties where you go there and you just screw around with whoever you feel like screwing around with, no matter how many people are there. And so some of the underground parties are called like Thai parties. You know what a Thai party is? A Thai party is basically a party that you would go to where the only thing that you will be wearing is a tie. So you'll come to the party in a trench coat. Males will be having trench coats and females will be having trench coats. And the only thing that you will have up under the trench coat is a tie, whether you're a female or whether you're a male. And then once you get to the party, you take off your trench coat and you're completely naked up under the trench coat except for a tie on. Same thing for sock parties. Sock parties are the parties where you go to the party in a trench coat and the only thing that you have on are socks. That's it, socks. Males and females come to the party with their trench coats on and socks, and that's it. So once the male or female gets to the sock party, they take their trench coat off at the door. They're completely naked except for a pair of socks. Or if it's a tie party, they're completely naked except for a tie. And whoever they feel like screwing around with that's at the party, they do it in front of everyone, because everybody there is screwing around with whoever they feel like screwing around with. There was one particular lady that went to an underground party at a major city, and basically, in a nutshell, her raunchy, loose girlfriend had persuaded her to go to this particular underground party. Well, once she got to the underground party, the woman who either had a boyfriend or who had a husband, in less than 24 hours, because she stayed at this underground party for almost 24 hours. When she left the party, she estimates that she had been screwing around with over 200 men and women. Did you hear what I just said? She had screwed around with over 200 men and women at this particular underground party. So what does all this have to do with the child support hustle? If that woman happens to get pregnant, whose baby do you think that baby is going to be? The baby is going to be the husband's or the boyfriend's baby. Because if a person went to an underground party or a girls trip and have screwed around with numerous people and then found themselves pregnant, they're not going to know whose baby it is, because they had screwed around with so many different people. Very, very true stories. So anyway, child support hustle. Don't get stuck raising some other man's child that is not yours. Okay, now please like, please share, and please subscribe. And I'm going to see you on the next one.